Hey, what is up, guys? We are back with another LeetCode problem. Today we're doing number 1609, even odd tree.
Can you be quiet, please?
Can you close the door? Hey, what is up, guys? We are back with another LeetCode problem. Today we're doing number 1609, even odd tree. A binary tree is named even odd if it meets the following conditions. So the root of the binary tree is at level index 0. All its children are at level index 1, their children are at index level 2, and so on and so forth. For every even index level, all nodes are at the level have odd integer values in strictly increasing order from left to right. For every odd index level, all nodes at the level have even integer values in strictly decreasing order from left to right. This question is so simple. It's just a very kind of tricky breadth first search. It's just a very tricky breadth first search. What you're going to do is it's very simple. You're going to keep track of which levels you're at, and we know how to do that with breadth first search. There's different ways you can keep a null reference in the queue, or you can do something like have a double queue, and when the first one gets empty, the second one gets empty. It's all simple breadth first search tricks to keep track of the current level you're at. We'll walk through that in the solution. So you'll be able to keep track of the levels you're at. If you're you'll know if it's an odd level or even level. Every time you finish a level, you'll flip a switch. Okay, you'll flip a Boolean value so if it's true, then it's even, or if it's false, then it's odd, or vice versa, or whatever. And then you're gonna go through the array, and you're going to just keep track of whether that current level you're at is increasing or decreasing. It's very simple. I'll show you the solution right now. Let's just go through what someone else got. Let's see what is the guy. Okay, this guy. Let's go to number one guy answer. So it's very simple. If the root is null, you're just going to return true. Then you create a queue. We're going to use the linked list. I like to use an array dequeue. You can add the root in, and you're going to set even to true because the first one isn't even. And so while the size is greater than 0, simple breadth first search, you're going to grab the size of the current queue, and so this is how we're going to keep track of the levels, right? We're going to grab the size of the current queue. And then this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep track of the previous value. Why keeping track of the previous value? To make sure it's decreasing or increasing. If we're at an even one, then we're going to start at the most minimum number because it's going to be strictly increasing, odd integers. And if we're at an odd level, it's going to be strictly decreasing, even integers, right? So let's say that even was false, then we do start with the largest number, and we're going to keep going down. Now, while the size, blah, 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 you're going to keep decrementing. So we're going through this level. This is what we're going through. While we're still going through this level, this is where you can think of this as, we're going to pull the current roots, okay? And now we're going to check. If we're at even, okay? If we're at even, then we need to make sure none of these are true, meaning that if we're on an even level, all the numbers have to be odd. Remember, all the numbers have to be odd, and they have to be strictly increasing. Yeah, all the numbers have to be odd, and they have to be strictly increasing. This is what this is checking. So this is checking if it's even, if the number is even at the level, then we have to return false because we know it has to be odd. Also, if it is decreasing, meaning if our current one is less than the previous one, meaning it's decreasing. If current one is less than the previous one, it's decreasing, then we also need to return false. That's what this is checking. The second one is checking the exact opposite. If we're at an odd number, then we need to make sure we're currently at if we're at an odd level, then that means we need to make sure all the numbers are even. So this is checking if it's odd, then we have to return false. Also, we have to make sure it's strictly decreasing. So if it starts increasing, meaning if our current one is greater than the previous one, that means we're increasing, which we don't want to happen at an odd level. We want to be decreasing all the time. That's what's checking. So if it's increasing, return false, or if it's an even number, then return false. Sorry, if it's an even number, then return false. Wait, what? Sorry, if it's an odd number, then return false. Yes, if it's an odd number, then return false. Then when we check these two conditions, that means this number is good to go. We're going to move on to the next one. But before we move on to the next one, we want to make sure we set the previous one to the current one, and we want to add. We want to add the current rows, current nodes left and right child if it exists, to make sure to the next level, right? That's what this is doing. Then we flip the switch after we go through. So this will go through the entire level, right? How do we know it's going through the entire level? Because it's the current queue size, right? And then we'll flip the switch, and then we'll go to the next level. Okay? This one over here. This is for each level. For each level, we're going to run this. We're going to go through the entire level. This is going through all the levels. This is going through each level individually. Very simple problem. At the end of it, if none of these conditions returned true, I mean, basically, if none of these conditions held true, which will return false. So if we didn't return false here and we didn't return false here, we'll just return true at the end. And that is the basic solution. It's very simple. If you guys enjoyed this, please subscribe. I make a lot of LeetCode videos, a lot of tech videos. Watch my intro to my YouTube channel to check out what the channel is all about. And leave a like and comment any questions or suggestions or improvements on how I can improve this video. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.